Welcome to Nugget 311 with Steve and Dana Groman, and we are finally wrapping up our Montana Dinosaur Trail, and we will be taking you to the Museum of the Rockies. It is the premier museum, I would say almost in the whole Rocky Mountains, but certainly on this Montana Dinosaur Trail.
It's good.
It is a Smithsonian affiliate and part of the Montana State University. Museum of the Rockies in Bozeman is home to almost 300,000 items. World-famous dinosaur paleontologist Dr. Jack Horner is the museum curator. The museum proudly presents one of the foremost dinosaur fossil collections in the world, including bones from 12 Tyrannosaurus rexes. 45 different kinds of dinosaur fossils have been found in Montana. This is one of the highest quality dinosaur exhibits in the world, and it is 4-star in my book.
So many people say that the dinosaurs weren't real or something to that effect. They do find the bones.
This lady was working on this Triceratops one of the times we were there. We have been there 3 times. This is an interesting display. A group of young Diplodocus got their feet and legs stuck in the mud and died.
Yeah, sounds like a fair amount of water must have been around at one time in Montana. I don't believe that was oceanfront.
No, I think it was part of Noah's flood.
It's obviously part of Noah's flood.
This would be a catastrophe plate, as they would call it, and we would call it a catastrophe plate, and the catastrophe was Noah's flood. But it's interesting that they can't deny this type of situation when they find it in stone.
They absolutely know it takes water and water and dirt to do this. We're the only ones that have a worldwide event that is known.
They have a lot of very interesting displays. And one of the things that we're going to point out today is how they do admit that they changed their mind, which I think is great that they actually put it up there. But this is a teaching museum in that Horner gets out in the field and teaches, and they are really top-notch. For many years after dinosaurs were first discovered and determined to be reptiles, scientists thought that they dragged their tails, much like living reptiles. That hypothesis was dispelled in 1970 by John Ostrom of Yale University. Ostrom found 2 new species of dinosaur from the Cloverleaf Formation in Montana, both of which possessed elaborate structural modifications of their vertebrae and muscles that prevented their tails from sagging or dragging. What do you think about sagging, dragging tails?
Well, there are examples, so they claim, and we've seen them, of what they call tail strikes on the ground behind the footprints that they say was where the tail struck the ground. As far as dragging, they probably lifted them up.
I wonder what would be the condition that there would be a tail strike.
Well, Owen used his tail on you once.
Yes, he did. As far as being recorded in stone, that just seems really incredible. They have some of the most magnificent displays, and as we have mentioned, as we've traveled across the Montana Dinosaur Trail, we've seen many real fossils, and we've seen a lot of cast. Here is a Lambeosaur egg clutch and a Troodon egg clutch, where we have seen replicas at other fossils in our previous nuggets, but the real things are here in Bozeman. Their collection is phenomenal, and they have this huge display about Triceratops, and they have a couple of interesting comments at these fossils. For more than 100 years, it was thought that Triceratops and Torosaurus were 2 different horned dinosaurs, but research here at the Museum of the Rockies showed that Torosaurus was simply a full-grown adult Triceratops. And what can you tell us about these names of dinosaurs in this kind of situation?
A couple of slides, even in this little short nugget, have expressed many times what you read about a dinosaur is not necessarily true. It's what people believe to have been true. And I've said that in our meetings for years. And this is a beautiful example. The 2 dinosaurs are, in fact, the same dinosaur. They weren't new species after all. They weren't different species after all.
They just really enjoy finding something new and making it more exciting. And then a lot of times that hits the news, but then we never hear when they go, oh man, it was just...
Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens quite a lot, actually.
But here at MOR, as it's fondly known, they do have some exceptionally candid bits of information hanging on the wall near the fossils, and this is another one. The shield and horns of Triceratops changed shape as the animal grew up. For many years, scientists thought these different shaped skulls represent multiple species, but now we hypothesize that they represent the growth stages of one species. And here they are still saying it's a hypothesis, but when you see these things in these museums and you read what the placards say, people tend to believe it, and you shouldn't.
Correct.
you should understand it's just what they think at that time.
It's what they believe at that time. The fossils are there. The bone has turned to stone, so there was obviously something there, but we just can't believe in any evolutionary timescale or issue at all. Everything is going to reproduce its own kind.
We just have to realize the motivation of their worldview. The world's largest Tyrannosaurus skull. Here at the Museum of the Rockies, we have 12 partial skeletons of Tyrannosaurus rex, and 3 of these skeletons have good skulls. The smallest of our skulls is that of B. rex. Its cast is displayed in a nearby case with a juvenile skull cast. The next largest skull is the Wonkel skull, which is displayed with its skeleton the way we found it in the ground. The largest specimen is the one displayed here, known as MOR 008. This is the largest Tyrannosaurus skull in the world, measuring 5 feet in length. We think that MOR 008 was a very old animal when it died, but research is still underway here at the museum. This is the genuine fossil skull, not a replica.
If a bone is real or a skeleton is real, they will tell you it's real. But oftentimes they don't say that something is a replica. Remember that a lot of the dinosaur bones that we see in just every museum across this country even, quite often they are just replicas. But these are the real things.
This is the real Wonkel T-Rex skeleton, not a replica. MOR is proud to present when it is a real skeleton.
Well, yeah, because that's an awesome find.
Right. And they have this whole display, and we've hit on this topic ad nauseum about dinosaurs are the ancestors of birds. This is in every museum that has dinosaurs, and MOR is no different.
Well, we do know that Genesis 1 has a true account of how and when everything was created. Exodus 20:11 in the Ten Commandments again confirms what Genesis 1 says.
Absolutely. If you appreciate these videos, partner with us on a monthly or one-time basis. Our phone number is 603-616-8907. The links are in the description below. We hope that you have enjoyed this dinosaur trail trek across Montana. And if you've missed any of the previous nuggets, we want to encourage you to go back and watch them and take a family vacation across Montana. Thank you.